Shalom. I like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners, preaching his word with truth and sincerity. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, I'll be part of that number. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. Got a few articles dealing with judgment. You know, the Lord is steadily working. So just going to jump straight into it. Get a couple of precepts, and Lord's willing, this will be edifying. As a matter of fact, let me get a quick precept right now. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50. It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." Yeah, a lot of misery is going to be done to these Babylonians and these people around the world that walked in great pride. You know, especially in Babylon. Babylon is the most proudest nation on the planet. Got the most proudest people, especially the so-called white people, some Edomites. You know, they act like their shit don't stink, so to speak. And second to them is the women. You know, women walk around with that same pompous attitude that the so-called white man brings around. That leads me into this first article I got. This is from New York Post. It says 2 influencers drown after insisting life jackets would get in the way of their tanning during boat party. And I believe this is a picture of one of them. You know, instead of wearing a life jacket, she wanted to show her body. Yeah, a bunch of folly. It says 2 influencers are dead. 2 influencers are dead after refusing to wear life jackets on a speedboat that sank off the Brazilian coast because they didn't want their safety gear to ruin their tan in photos, according to police. Aileen Tamara Moria de Morim and Beatriz Tavares de Silva Faria ignored pleas to wear their life preservers when an overcrowded boat taking them back to shore from a yacht party capsized in the rough waters of Devil's Throat along the Iguazu River, according to local reports. Yeah, so these 2 bimbos didn't want to wear safety gear because it would mess up their photos. That just goes to show the pride of some people. That's why I read 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. Many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter world, and because they have walked in great pride. These females are proud. Here's a picture of the other chick. Some didn't want to put them on because they were taking selfies. Damn shame. It says the 2 victims boarded a speedboat to shore with 4 other influencers after partying on a luxury yacht with friends off the coast of Sao Paulo, September 29th. Let me get another precept. Two chicks bit the dust. Their spirit got required because they didn't want to follow safety precautions. And this is what America has had. This is what America has produced. Even though this was in Brazil, I believe São Paulo's in Brazil. They were influencers, posting their bodies for monetary gain. That's not the order. That's not the order that the women are supposed to be in. That's why the devil has to be taken out of power, because the women are out of order, the children are out of order, and the men are out of order. Everybody's out of order. The whole world is out of its course, like it says in the book of Psalms, the 82nd chapter. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse, I'll start at 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Yeah, as you can see, folly is set in great dignity. That's why you had the picture in that bimbo walking around showing herself on the boat, and she wasn't wearing a life jacket. Anytime you value what you do on the phone more than you value your own life, that's a shame. That's folly. Hold on, let me cross the street. Good morning. Yeah. Anytime you rather take pictures of yourself than to save your own life by wearing a life jacket because you're on a crowded boat, that's folly. And to be honest, them two females and two females, they got exactly what they deserve. But enough of that. Got this. So far in 2024, more than 750 major American bank branches have shut down. 35 of those have happened between October 15th and the 22nd. The U.S. bank shutdown has the most locations this month, with 11. So, as you can see with that, America's breaking down, man. America's done. Matter of fact, let me click on this. This is from Daily Mail. It says major U.S. banks closed 35 branches in 1 week. Is yours affected? And that's all that really needs to be said about that. We get a precept on that. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 8. Start at 8. Actually, I started at 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that had made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Here's the point. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah. As you can see, the Lord is breaking Babylon down from the inside out. All these not only are these banks closing, these bank branches closing, these department stores, these restaurants, America's shutting down. It's closing time for Babylon. And you still got people out here trying to... the election day was yesterday. You had people out here voting, still going to football games and baseball games. And I believe I got an article on that too. So you still got people not paying attention to what's really going on in the world. And America's done. Alright, that's enough for that. We got this. Alright, this is from CNN. It says Halloween shootings in Orlando nightlife district leave 2 dead, 6 wounded. Let me see if this will play.
Talia Hockenham, you are the strongest among us.
Without spice, the great houses would feed me to the world.
Slovakia for the ad. You know, they got commercials and everything.
Dune Prophecy, streaming exclusively on Max.
A shooting in downtown Orlando on Halloween night left 2 people dead and 6 others injured with gunshot wounds.
Halloween's one of our busiest nights of the year. We're doing anywhere from 50 to 100,000 people. The crowd's gigantic.
Video shows large crowds celebrating Halloween when the suspect began to shoot. The 17-year-old suspect then fled and began shooting at a separate location when police tackled him.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now!
Police say they don't have a motive and that the shooting remains under investigation.
Get on the ground right now!
And there you have it. 2 people were killed and 6 others wounded after a teenage shooter opened fire in 2 locations in downtown Orlando where large crowds gathered to celebrate Halloween. The city's police chief said early Friday. Still got our people celebrating that wicked ass demonic holiday. You know, Sam Hain. Shouldn't be celebrating no Halloween. That's a old school Celtic holiday where our people used to sacrifice their children and a lot of other demonic stuff. It says a 17-year-old suspect has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with a firearm and 6 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. And you know what that was. And might as well go get it. That was a spirit created for vengeance. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Yeah, and that's what you're seeing. That's what happened in this incident. Lord stirred up this young guy. He looked to be a Jake. Stirred him up for a spirit of vengeance, because the Lord is not with none of these pagan holidays. Staying in the book of Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1 says, "Hear ye the word of the Lord. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen." And that's what our people do. Our people stay learning the ways of the heathen. You know, our people celebrate all types of demonic holidays. Thanksgiving is coming up soon, in a few weeks. Our people celebrate that. They celebrate Halloween, they celebrate Christmas. You know, instead of turning back to the ways of the Heavenly Father, our people want to celebrate these demonic holidays. But a lot of judgments like that, what happened, is going to continue happening. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Yeah. So like it says, learn not the ways of the heathen. And Halloween is a heathen holiday. It's a demonic holiday that our people should have no participation in. But, you know, like it says, two-thirds are gonna be cut off and die. Like it says in the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter. Why? Because they wouldn't hearken to the voice of the Heavenly Father. And how does the Heavenly Father speak? He speaks through his servants, his men, the prophets. You know? Like it says in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord has set us as a watchman to give them warning from him. Roughly paraphrasing. This is also from CNN News. It says a white man allegedly shot his black neighbor in Minneapolis while police waited days before making an arrest. And you best believe there's going to be more stories like this coming to pass. You know, this for all you jakes who trust in Esau, trust in Egypt. Y'all going to be okay. Y'all gonna be sad. Y'all gonna be sadly taken for a loop.
A white man was arrested for allegedly shooting his black neighbor while doing yard work at his home in Minneapolis. Davis Maturi was shot in the neck, surviving the incident. Court documents say his neighbor, John Sawchek, believed Maturi was on his property line. He shot him through a window on the 2nd story of his house.
The bullet went down through my neck and then all the way back to my spine.
Sawchek has been charged with 4 counts, including attempted murder, stalking, and harassment. The incident, which prosecutors are calling racially motivated, comes after a year of ongoing issues between the neighbors.
Try it again, then, tough guy.
Stay away.
You can't throw a punch, can you?
The Maturis had called police to report at least 19 prior incidents involving Sawchek, including threatening physical assault, according to court documents. Police say they've been working to arrest him for prior threats and acts of violence against Maturi and other neighbors since April, visiting his house over 20 times.
If you're saying you're scared, what does that do to me, you know? Like, you have this body armor, you have the professional training. When I call for assistance, when I called for, you have a knife pointed at me, I had to wait hours and hours and hours.
Days after he was charged in the shooting, police arrested Sawchuk.
So there was extensive work by our officers to try and make contact, to try and bring this person into custody, and we were unsuccessful. And so in that sense, yes, we failed this victim. He should not have been shot. But I will say this, we had no reason to suspect that he would shoot the neighbor from inside the house.
You see that? You hear that, Jake? He gets no protection from the police department. The only protection you're going to get is from Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's the only protection you have. Because even though they try to hide it, the so-called white man Esau, he still feels the same way as he did back in the ancient time. Matter of fact, let me get that. You gotta go back to the beginning, like it says in Genesis. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27. Chapter 27, start at 40. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And and that's what you see. Esau used his blessing on that Jake. He used the sword, shot him through the window. You know? Jake never saw it coming. But we keep on telling you not to trust these devils. But you're gonna have to learn the hard way. Verse 21, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, you know, heart in the Hebrew is lab, which is your mind. So Esau said in his heart or his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's what it's all about. That's what it really boils down to. Jakes don't understand that these Edomites and so-called white people, they have a disdain hatred for us. And I'm not saying that all people that look like white people are white people, because you have some of our nation, you have Israelites mixed amongst the Edomites as well. We have the Israelites mixed amongst all nations. You know, like it says, like that was part of the curses, that we got scattered to all people. But for the most part, your red-blooded, America-loving Edomite, he hates Jake. And even though they try to hide it, it comes out. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13. Consider the work of the Most High, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? Yeah, the so-called white man was made crooked. Salakia. Barakatah. Yeah, the so-called white man was made crooked. And you got Jake out here really trying to rehabilitate the so-called white man. That's crazy. You can't rehabilitate And you can't be, and you shouldn't be friends with someone that wants to kill you. Like, it's in their nature. This is the nature of the so-called white man. You know? There's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Yeah, and the answer to that is no. To all three of those questions, no. A leopard can't change his spots. An Ethiopian can't change his skin. And the so-called white man can't do good, even though he cannot do any good, because he's accustomed to doing evil. And no matter how many times you tell Jake, he's just like he still doesn't get it. That's why Jake gonna have to learn through death by pain. Like it says in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. But getting this in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. And it reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Yeah, just like how iron is inevitable for iron to rust, no matter how good you take care of it. It's inevitable for the Esau to show his true horns and to be a devil. You know, through a matter of time, it'll show. It'll manifest. Especially with election day being yesterday, you best believe that it doesn't matter who gets in office, Esau gonna show his true colors about how he feels towards Jake. It says, Salakia. Says the white man accused of shooting his black neighbor in the neck last week has an extensive history of threats, harassment, and property damage against numerous neighbors over a 2-year period of evading arrest by holding up in his home. Court records show. Yeah, so as you can see, Esau's not going to lock himself up. You best believe if it was the other way around, and as Jake shot that Edomite, they would have been arrested him. That's why you see. That's why you can see that the law system is not in favor of Jake. That's why it boggles my mind why Jake would want to stay in America. Every day I put up curses on Babylon that the Lord brings swift and speedily destroy this place. Swift destruction towards this place. This place is corrupt and crooked, and it's only one-sided. It's only for the Edomites. And even they starting to feel the brunt end of the stick. So it's really only for the global elites. That's enough of that. I got a couple more and then I'm gonna close. This is from Men's Journal. And it reads, this was published yesterday. It says, dump truck driver dies gruesome death in freak accident with hot asphalt. It says, my prayers, condolences, and thoughts, my heart goes out to his family, the police chief said in the press conference. It says a Mississippi man died in a horrific freak accident this week after being buried alive in hot asphalt while attempting to fix his dump truck. See? That's his judgment from the Heavenly Father. You know? The incident occurred on November 4th at AJ Materials in Jackson, Mississippi, when contractor Darrell Sheriff was working on the truck's hydraulic line. Suddenly, the tailgate opened and asphalt spilled out over him, the Associated Press reports. In a press conference on Monday afternoon, Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade shared the details of what happened. It says, upon arrival, officers located an individual who had been buried under a hot asphalt. It appeared to be some type of malfunction with his dump truck, the vehicle that he was there to pick up asphalt with. As he tried to fix the vehicle and mitigate the issue, the vehicle actually unloaded hot asphalt onto him. Trying to tell you, you better fear the Lord, man. You better turn back to the Heavenly Father and fear the Lord. Or a freak accident like this could happen to you on your job. Matter of fact, let me get a preset. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. Start at 30. For we know him that has said, vengeance belongeth unto me, and I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people. Here's the point, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yeah, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's why it would behoove you to get on his good side and turn back from your wicked ways and fear him. You know? In the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying. Matter of fact, let me start at 5. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not, his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. Yeah, the Lord's righteous anger resteth upon sinners. So don't say that because the Lord's mercy is great, which it is, don't say that because his mercy is great, he's going to forgive you. You don't know that. That's why you got to turn from your wickedness and stop committing sins. Verse 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Yeah, so, like it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. That's why it also says in the book of James, don't boast thyself of what tomorrow you're going to do, because you don't know what your life beholds. The Lord might require your life from that day, from that time right there. You know, it's a scary thing to be fixing your truck and then hot asphalt drop on them. But that was all ordained from the Heavenly Father. Let me prove that. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39 says, "See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." Yeah, that's the Heavenly Father speaking through Moses. You know? It's the Heavenly Father who does these things. So tell Jake, you better get right with the Lord, man, before you be next. Yeah, I found this out yesterday. This is from the AI overview. It says Connor died as a result of the crash, as did the 45-year-old driver of the Camaro, identified by police as Joseph Savage of Coffeyville. It says Megan was seriously injured in the accident and is currently in the intensive care unit at a hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, according to the GoFundMe, which raised over $90,000. So it looked to be like an Edomite. We keep on telling you people that bread and circus is going to fail. Says 18-year-old dies in crash on the way to Kansas City Chiefs game after mom surprises him with tickets. Says Connor Barber died in the crash while his mother Megan Barnett was seriously injured. And I believe this is the picture of them right there. They have to look to be of Edomites. If they are, Edomites is not catching no breaks. You're not getting no let up from the Heavenly Father. You know? Heavenly Father is steady plaguing you so-called white people. And to be honest, it's a beautiful thing. That proves that he's alive and well and he exists. And he doesn't at all acquit the wicked. All Edomites are going to pay for their crimes and atrocities of what they committed to the children of Israel. Because like I said, he that toucheth us toucheth the apple of the Lord's eye. Roughly paraphrasing. I believe that's Zechariah 2:8. Let me read a little bit of this. This is Connor Barber, an 18-year-old from Norman, Oklahoma, was shocked when his mom told him that they were going to the Monday Night Football matchup between the Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Surprising him with tickets to celebrate his birthday. See, I told you, the Lord is not with you celebrating your birthday. All those, just like how I read in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. Learn not the ways of the heathen. I'm only speaking to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, as far as you other nations, you could do whatever you want to do. You're still going into captivity when the Lord Yahweh shall return. So it doesn't matter what you do. You're still going into slavery, head first. Says, according to a GoFundMe set up on behalf of his family. However, while they were still in southeast Kansas, the trip ended in tragedy when Connor and mom, Megan Barnett, were involved in a collision on Saturday, November 2nd. It says, according to a Kansas Highway Patrol crash report, a Chevrolet Camaro traveling in the southbound lane crossed the center for an unknown reason before striking the family's vehicle in the northbound lane. So they must have got hit head on. And then it goes on to say what I read earlier. Yeah, so it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let me get this. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5. It says, I am the Lord, there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee that thou hast though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, there is none else. Here's the point. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And you see the Lord is written in all capitals. So I let you know it's talking about the Heavenly Father. That's the Heavenly Father speaking. His name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And they are two separate entities. They're not the same being. They're not the same person. So we tell Jake, you better get right with the Lord, because more atrocities like these is going to happen. It's the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? Yeah, so it's the Lord that creates the evil, sending the evil angels among them. Let me get that real quick. There's the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 49. It says, He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. Yeah, so as you can see, the Lord said the Lord has righteous angels, and he has righteous angels, and he has evil angels. And they both do the bidding of the Heavenly Father, because it's him that creates the peace, and he creates evil. The Lord Yahweh does all these things. Let me get one more precept in the Apocrypha. There's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 16. It says, For greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. It says, For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. As every generation comes along, the earth gets weaker and weaker. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. And that links up with 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Where many great miseries shall be done to them, that in the latter time dwelled in the world, because they walked in great pride. So it would be imperative for you to turn back to the Lord and keep his commandments. Matter of fact, I'll end off with that. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. It says, Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Yeah, so the time to getting right with the Lord is now, while he may be found. Because there's going to come a point in time where brothers ain't going to be prophesying and preaching on the streets anymore. The famine of the word is vastly approaching. Every day that goes by is another day that the famine of the word is going to come through. Just like every day that passed by is another day that we get closer to the Heavenly Father and His Son. So, get right with the Lord while you still can. All right, Lord's will, you was edified. Until next time, we're going to say shalom to the elect.